What's going on, people? So I'm trying to wear more of my little band shirts. You know what I mean? I wear a lot of the wrestling shirts. You probably noticed that. But the band stuff, it's just not been getting enough attention lately. So here we are, breaking out this here Dropkick Murphys shirt, Was actually, I'm not a huge fan of that band, like to where they're like one of my favorites or whatever. They put on good shows. I do enjoy that. This particular one comes from the first show that I saw. Actually, yeah, the first ever concert I saw in England. So, pretty good night. I think it was Nottingham, somewhere in 2013. But enough about that. Unless you happen to have some sort of things you want to say about Dropkick Murphys, comment section. That's what that's there for. And various other reasons. But anyways, let's go ahead and talk about these things over here. Now, I did a live yesterday, right? And I did one of those unboxings on there so I could kind of go through some things, and this was one of the things, right? So, I do like the Asics. I've mentioned that before. You've probably noticed I picked up a couple of these Gel Lyte 3s, and you're going to see a couple more in the next couple days or whatever. But this one is the one we're going to be talking about today, right? Now, I don't know what particular colorway this is. Looking at the side of the box, it says Lichen green and black. So I guess we'll just go with that, right? Kind of a weird olive sort of color or whatever. But anyways, let's do this. Let's do a review over this right here, the Asics Gel Lyte 3 in Lichen green and black. Sound fair? We're going to kick this thing off at the bottom, okay? So down there, across the bottom, what you're looking at down there, I'm pretty sure that's your standard Gel Lyte 3 outsole. I honestly don't remember because I haven't seen enough of them regularly to really commit that to memory. But we'll just say that it is. And then we're going to move on up here to this here midsole. What you're seeing up there, not a whole lot really going on, right? Pretty much just your plain, kind of an off-white, maybe it's sail, something like that. Got a little Asics thing down there on the outsole there, on the outside of the midsole there. Otherwise, it's pretty much just standard plain stuff. Again, not a lot of flash in those lower regions. But then you move up to the top, and I know you're probably thinking, I can see that. I've seen the pictures. There's not a lot of flash in this shoe overall. Yeah, you're right. But where it makes up for all that, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but where it comes through for you, is going to be in the quality of the materials and all that good stuff, the feel overall. So we're going to talk, I guess, mostly about that. So down here, right around the toe box and all that stuff, it's very much the same what you see down here around the middle section, of course, where it's kind of squared off, and down around the back areas as well. What you're seeing down there is basically just kind of a suede sort of thing going on in that lichen green, as they say. And it feels pretty decent, right? It's pretty soft. You don't have a whole lot of that color change in there, but there is just a little bit in some places. I don't know how long these things have been sitting around, but they do have that sort of worn look to them. It happens when you have a shoe like this just laying down in a box for a long time, apparently. That's what people say. But anyway, so you've got that going on. It's a pretty nice color. The only switch up down here is where they have those two little black hole things, whatever that is. On other pairs, that's generally 3M, or it's at least on the ones I've had. I don't think this pair will be, but if it is, we'll find out together. But anyway, so you got that thing going on overall. Coming back around to the front area here where this toe box is, that thing is feeling very nice. I wish I could convey through pictures and stuff, or a more articulate choice of words, but you're just going to have to take my word for it or buy them. I mean, that's an option too, because they are very much still in stock on asics.com, that is. Maybe other retailers too. But either way, very soft right here. Very, very soft. So I'm liking that a lot. And it kind of matches up with what's going on over here behind this little Asics stitched logo or whatever. It's a little harder to really see it because you got all that other stuff going on. But again, take my word for it or buy your own and then agree with me later. But again, it's looking pretty good as far as like the color choices, so I do like that. And then down on in here, as you can see from the pictures and such, you do have the black and kind of a university gold sort of color going on there, making up that Asics logo. Plays pretty well with these two lace holder things above that, because those are also in that sort of a yellowish color. Though it's a little bit lighter on those than it is on the actual thing down here. Moving around to the back though, you got that same color vibe going on. There it just says Asics Gel with a little black leatherish sort of thing going on right there. Feels pretty decent. So overall, I'm cool with this. That's pretty much the outside of the shoe. I mean, there's not a whole lot to say, so we're just kind of finish things up, get on into a few details, and wrap this thing up, right? So, finishing off on the front area where the laces are and all that, nothing too fancy, nothing you haven't seen before. But behind that, where this sort of sock liner type thing is, where the neoprene or nylon or whatever material, this, as always, or as is often the case, super soft as well. So I'm really liking that. I'm really liking the way they put some, I'm not going to say it's like the cream of the crop, right? But it's some solid materials all around. So you're not going to be disappointed if you do, in fact, buy a pair. So you got that going on. Same thing, split tongue sort of situation going on, right? And then behind that, you do have the same style material, just as plush, just as soft, just black, right? So there's that for you for the whole sock liner. And dipping down onto the inside, it's pretty much going to be the same thing down in there, right? Black insole, yellow letters. You probably guessed that was what was coming up, right? Yeah, you did. So overall, get you another shot or two or whatever of the outside of this. Hit you with some personal thoughts, of course. I'm thinking that these things are looking pretty good. I feel like I said that already at least once, maybe twice, maybe thrice. But the thing is, it's worth saying again, right? Because I like them that much, which is uncommon sometimes, because I get a lot of shoes and some of them are underwhelming. This one, coming out of retail of what, like 110, 120, something like that. Took advantage of a discount, so I was able to get these for like 70. No complaints out of me, not a one, right? For that price, definitely recommend them. And even still at retail, I probably would have bought them then too, Though I will say, I would have had to have known more about them. At 70, it's kind of like take a chance and see what happens. Retail, if I'd known of the materials, then I would have jumped on it. If I didn't, I would have been like, we'll see about a sale. Because that's pretty much what happened. But anyways, that's enough about that. Let's go ahead and knock out this sizing thing so we can all go on about our day. I bought these in a 9.5 because that's the size that I buy in pretty much all my shoes, right? And it fits just like I would expect it to fit. You could compare these maybe to, say, like if you have any Air Maxes, like the Air Max 90s, Air Max 1s, whatever. They have a very similar feel to me as far as the way they fit. So I'd go by that. Or if you don't know what to do, true to size. That works out as well. So that's my take on it. Now, as far as the comfort portion goes, right? These are pretty nice. I'm not going to say they're amazing because it is still some older technology. I'd kind of compare them again to like an Air Max 90, but I might give these the edge. I'm not saying they're like that much better. It's kind of like if you take, say, like late 97 Raw versus Nitro, you pick one or the other, you can't really go wrong, right? And that's how I feel about these. So you're going to be good for some all-day comfort and all that stuff. The materials on here are pretty breathable, so that's always a plus, especially given that like summer's coming up and you might be outside or whatever. That's something you're going to want. And, the colors are pretty good, so that's an added bonus. Doesn't really affect the fit or the sizing or the comfort, but, something worth throwing out there, right? But past that, past the comfort and all that, the sizing, I kind of feel like everything has been summed up here. So we're just going to move on and get this video wrapped up because it's gone on long enough. I think so. Maybe you think so too. It doesn't matter if you do or don't agree. I'm the one running this show, right? So, from me to you, have a nice rest of your day or rest of your night, whatever it is, wherever you are. I have one more review to do. It's actually another pair of these, just in a different color with some different materials. Actually, it's not a different color because it's also green. Whatever. Later, people.